Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly create the life they want, while others remain stuck in patterns they desperately want to change? What if I told you there's a blueprint that could transform your entire existence in ways you never thought possible? Today, we're diving deep into one of the most powerful personal development books ever written, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why millions of people credit this single book with completely revolutionizing their lives. Tony Robbins didn't just write another self-help book when he created Awaken the Giant Within. He crafted a psychological masterpiece that reveals the hidden mechanisms controlling human behavior and decision-making. This isn't about positive thinking or wishful dreaming. This is about understanding the actual science behind why we do what we do, and more importantly, how to reprogram ourselves for unstoppable success. What makes this book different from every other personal development resource out there? Robbins spent decades studying the most successful people on the planet, from world-class athletes to billionaire entrepreneurs to spiritual leaders. He discovered that despite their different backgrounds and goals, they all shared specific patterns of thinking and behaving that ordinary people simply don't know about. But here's what's truly revolutionary about this book. Robbins doesn't just tell you what successful people do differently, he gives you the exact tools, techniques, and step-by-step processes to implement these same patterns in your own life. We're talking about practical strategies you can start using today to create immediate and lasting change. The timing of this book couldn't be more perfect. In our current world, filled with uncertainty and rapid change, the ability to take complete control of your destiny has never been more crucial. Whether you're struggling with career decisions, relationship challenges, health issues, or simply feeling like you're not living up to your potential, this book contains the answers you've been searching for. Tony Robbins published Awaken the Giant Within in 1991, but its principles remain more relevant today than ever before. This comprehensive guide to personal transformation emerged from Robbins' extensive research into human psychology, neuro-linguistic programming, and his work with thousands of clients ranging from Olympic athletes to Fortune 500 CEOs. The book represents the culmination of his understanding about what separates those who achieve extraordinary results from those who settle for mediocrity. The central premise revolves around the concept that every human being possesses an untapped giant within themselves, capable of achieving remarkable feats when properly awakened and directed. Robbins argues that most people live far below their potential, not because they lack ability, but because they haven't learned to harness the incredible power of their mind and emotions. What sets this work apart from other personal development literature is its scientific foundation combined with practical application. Robbins doesn't rely on motivational platitudes or temporary inspiration. Instead, he presents a systematic approach based on understanding how our nervous system processes information, how our beliefs shape our reality, and how we can consciously redesign our internal programming to produce the outcomes we desire. The book addresses every major area of human experience, including relationships, career success, financial abundance, physical health, and emotional well-being. Rather than treating these as separate domains, Robbins demonstrates how mastering the fundamental principles of personal power creates positive ripple effects across all aspects of life. This isn't merely a book to read, but a manual for transformation that requires active participation from the reader. Robbins includes numerous exercises, assessment tools, and implementation strategies designed to turn theoretical knowledge into practical results. The approach acknowledges that lasting change requires more than understanding concepts intellectually. It demands rewiring our habitual patterns at the deepest level. Awaken the Giant Within operates on the fundamental principle that human beings are not shaped by their circumstances, but rather by the decisions they make in response to those circumstances. Robbins introduces readers to the concept of personal power, defined as the ability to take action and create the results you desire regardless of external conditions. The book systematically breaks down the three fundamental decisions that control every aspect of human experience. First, what to focus on in any given situation. Second, what meaning to assign to whatever you're focusing on. Third, what action to take based on that meaning. These seemingly simple decisions, when understood and applied consciously, become the foundation for creating any outcome you desire. Robbins emphasizes that most people make these critical decisions unconsciously, allowing their past conditioning, societal programming, and emotional reactions to determine their choices. This unconscious decision-making process keeps people trapped in cycles of limitation and frustration. However, when you learn to make these decisions consciously and strategically, you gain the power to reshape your entire life experience. The transformation process begins with understanding that all human behavior is driven by the desire to avoid pain and gain pleasure. However, most people have developed faulty associations about what will bring them pain or pleasure, leading to self-sabotaging behaviours. The book teaches readers how to identify these limiting associations and create new neural pathways that support empowering actions. Central to the methodology is the concept of conditioning, borrowed from behavioural psychology but applied in practical ways for personal development. Robbins explains how to use repetition, emotional intensity, and strategic reinforcement to install new beliefs and behaviours that automatically support your goals. This goes far beyond willpower or temporary motivation, creating lasting change at the neurological level. The book also introduces the 6 human needs framework, identifying the driving forces behind all human behaviour. Understanding these needs and learning to meet them in empowering ways eliminates internal conflict and aligns your entire personality toward achieving your desired outcomes. The journey through Awaken the Giant Within begins with what Robbins calls taking control of your mental and emotional destiny. This foundational concept recognises that while we cannot control external events, we have complete authority over our internal responses. The first major breakthrough occurs when readers understand that they've been unconsciously allowing outside circumstances to dictate their emotional state and decision-making process. Robbins introduces the concept of neuroassociative conditioning, which represents a revolutionary approach to permanent behavioural change. Unlike traditional willpower-based methods that typically fail, NAC works by leveraging the same psychological principles that create unwanted behaviours in the first place. The process involves identifying the pain and pleasure associations currently driving your actions, then consciously rewiring these associations to support your desired outcomes. This isn't theory, but practical neuroscience applied to personal transformation. The second major revelation involves understanding the master system of evaluation that unconsciously governs every decision you make. Most people remain unaware that they're constantly asking themselves questions that either empower or limit their potential. Questions like, why does this always happen to me? Versus, how can I use this experience to grow stronger? Literally, rewire your brain's focus and determine the quality of your life experience. Learning to ask empowering questions becomes a fundamental skill for sustained success. Robbins then explores the profound impact of beliefs on human performance and life outcomes. He distinguishes between global beliefs that affect every area of your life and specific beliefs that influence particular situations. The book provides concrete techniques for identifying limiting beliefs that may have been installed during childhood or traumatic experiences, then systematically replacing them with empowering alternatives. This process goes beyond positive thinking by addressing the emotional and physiological components that make beliefs feel real. The fourth major concept introduces the 6 human needs that drive all of behaviour: certainty, uncertainty, significance, love and connection, growth and contribution. Understanding these needs explains why people sometimes sabotage their conscious goals to meet deeper psychological requirements. The breakthrough comes in learning to meet all 6 needs through empowering activities rather than destructive patterns. This creates internal alignment where your entire personality works toward your stated objectives. Physical physiology emerges as another critical element often overlooked in personal development. Robbins demonstrates how body posture, breathing patterns, facial expressions, and movement directly influence emotional states and mental performance. This mind-body connection provides immediate tools for changing your state in any moment, breaking negative emotional cycles, and accessing peak performance on demand. The book extensively covers the art and science of goal achievement, moving far beyond simple goal-setting exercises. Robbins introduces the concept of compelling outcomes that emotionally pull you towards success, rather than goals you have to push yourself to achieve. This involves creating detailed sensory-rich representations of your desired future that activate your nervous system as if the outcomes were already achieved, naturally aligning your behaviour with success. Finally, Robbins addresses the ultimate human challenge of creating lasting change rather than temporary improvement. He explains why most people return to old patterns despite initial progress and provides the psychological tools necessary for permanent transformation. This includes understanding the role of identity in behaviour, designing environmental supports for new habits, and creating accountability systems that ensure continued growth. The first transformational insight readers gain involves recognising that the quality of their life equals the quality of the emotions they consistently experience. This seemingly simple realisation carries profound implications because most people have never been taught that they can consciously choose their emotional state regardless of circumstances. Robbins provides specific techniques for emotional conditioning that allow you to experience more joy, excitement, love, and gratitude while reducing fear, anger, and frustration. Understanding the difference between achieving goals and fulfilling your deepest human needs represents another major breakthrough. Many people exhaust themselves pursuing external achievements that fail to provide lasting satisfaction because they're not addressing their core psychological requirements. Learning to meet your needs for certainty through growing competence rather than rigid control, or meeting significance through contribution rather than domination, creates sustainable success patterns. The concept of modelling excellence emerges as perhaps the most practical skill for accelerating personal growth. Rather than trying to figure everything out through trial and error, Robbins teaches readers how to identify people already producing the results they desire, then systematically study and replicate their mental strategies, beliefs, and behaviours. This modelling process can compress years of learning into months or weeks. Mastering your internal representations becomes crucial for sustained motivation and confidence. Most people unknowingly create mental movies that drain their energy and reinforce limitations. Learning to consciously design empowering internal imagery, self-talk, and sensory associations transforms your daily experience and automatic responses to challenges. These techniques work because your nervous system responds to vivid mental rehearsal almost as powerfully as actual experience. The power of decision stands as one of the book's most liberating concepts. Robbins demonstrates that true decisions cut off any possibility except the one you've committed to achieving. Most people think they're making decisions when they're actually just expressing preferences. Real decisions involve burning bridges to old patterns and committing resources toward your desired outcome, regardless of temporary discomfort. Developing personal rules that serve rather than sabotage your success provides another practical framework for daily application. Everyone operates according to unconscious rules about what must happen for them to feel successful, loved, or fulfilled. These rules often make happiness nearly impossible to achieve consistently. By consciously designing rules that make positive emotions easy to experience and negative emotions harder to access, you stack the deck in favour of long-term satisfaction. Understanding the metaprograms that filter your perception reveals why people can experience identical situations completely differently. These unconscious sorting mechanisms determine whether you focus on problems or solutions, similarities or differences, internal or external validation. Learning to identify and adjust these perceptual filters provides extraordinary flexibility in how you experience and respond to life events. The distinction between results and reasons becomes critical for maintaining personal power in challenging situations. Why most people focus on creating elaborate explanations for why they can't achieve what they want, successful individuals concentrate exclusively on producing results regardless of obstacles. This shift in focus eliminates victim mentality and activates solution-oriented thinking patterns. Creating personal rituals that consistently put you in peak state transforms daily performance across all life areas. Rather than waiting for motivation to strike randomly, you can design specific sequences of physical movement, breathing, visualization, and incantation that reliably access your most resourceful emotional states. These rituals become especially powerful during high-pressure situations where peak performance is essential. Finally, understanding that progress equals happiness provides the ultimate framework for life satisfaction. Rather than postponing fulfillment until major goals are achieved, you can experience deep satisfaction through consistent growth and contribution. This removes the pressure to achieve external validation while maintaining drive toward meaningful objectives. Awaken the Giant Within stands as more than just another entry in the personal development genre. It represents a comprehensive system for understanding and directing human behaviour based on scientific principles rather than wishful thinking. The book's enduring relevance stems from its focus on timeless psychological truths about how the human mind processes information and creates behavioural patterns. What makes this work particularly valuable is its integration of multiple disciplines, including neuroscience, cognitive psychology, and behavioural conditioning into practical tools anyone can apply immediately. Robbins doesn't ask readers to believe in unproven concepts, but demonstrates techniques based on observable cause and effect relationships between thoughts, emotions, and behaviours. The book's greatest strength lies in its recognition that lasting transformation requires more than intellectual understanding. Real change occurs at the neurological level through consistent application of specific techniques designed to rewire automatic responses. This approach acknowledges the biological reality of how habits form and provides scientifically sound methods for installing new patterns. Perhaps most importantly, Awaken the Giant Within empowers readers with the understanding that they possess far more control over their life experience than most people realise. While external circumstances will always present challenges, the ability to consciously choose your internal response provides unlimited potential for growth and achievement. The techniques and principles outlined in this book have been tested by millions of readers across diverse backgrounds and cultures, consistently producing remarkable transformations when applied with commitment and consistency. This track record of real-world results validates the practical effectiveness of Robbins' methodology beyond theoretical appeal. For anyone serious about creating lasting positive change in their life, this book provides both the understanding and the tools necessary for genuine transformation. The investment of time and energy required to fully implement these principles pays dividends across every area of human experience, making it one of the most valuable resources available for personal development and achievement.